Elon Musk entered the courtroom, and Judge Judy Shinlin glanced up from her papers, her keen gaze studying the man who had just arrived. "Mr. Musk," she said, her authoritative tone clear, "you're here as a character witness for the defendant?" "Yes, Your Honor," he replied, his voice slightly wavering. "I know this may seem odd, but I felt compelled to come." The case had been ongoing for weeks, involving Sarah Martinez, a single mother of 3, who was being sued by her previous employer for allegedly misappropriating company funds. She sat at the defendant's table, anxiety evident on her face. Lacking a quality lawyer, her situation appeared dire. Judge Judy had presided over countless cases, yet something about this one unsettled her. The plaintiff, Richard Cole, a wealthy businessman, claimed Sarah had taken $50,000 from his construction firm. However, as she listened, more questions began to surface. "Mr. Musk," Judge Judy pressed, "what is your connection to the defendant?" Elon shifted in his chair, avoiding the cameras. She saved my life, Your Honor. Literally saved my life." A hush fell over the courtroom, prompting Judge Judy to raise her hand for silence. "Explain." 3 years ago, during the darkest time of my life, I found myself on a bridge in Austin, Texas, at 2 a.m., contemplating jumping. Sarah, driving home from her job as a hospital cleaner, saw me and pulled over. She spent 4 hours talking to me, unaware of who I was, just someone needing help. The courtroom was silent, even the court reporter pausing to absorb his words. Judge Judy's demeanor softened slightly, maintaining her professionalism. "What did she tell you?" Elon's voice strengthened. "She spoke of her children, about her youngest, Miguel, born with a heart condition, and how she juggled 3 jobs to cover his medical expenses. She never lost hope, even when doctors feared for his life. She said that as long as she had breath, she would fight for her loved ones." He paused, wiping his eyes. "She made me see that my problems, no matter how daunting, paled in comparison to what others endure daily. She saved my life that night without even realizing it." Leaning forward, Judge Judy asked, "Mr. Musk, are you asserting that you believe Miss Martinez is innocent?" "Absolutely, Your Honor. Sarah is the most honest person I've ever known. She returned my wallet that night when she could have easily kept it. She had every reason to ask for money once she learned who I was, yet she never did. Not once in 3 years." Richard Cole, the plaintiff, shifted uncomfortably in his seat, his lawyer whispering in his ear, but he brushed them off, his face reddening. "Your Honor," Elon continued, "I've followed this case closely, even hiring private investigators who uncovered evidence against Mr. Cole." "Objection." Cole's lawyer interrupted. "Your Honor, this witness hasn't been qualified as an expert." Judge Judy raised her hand. "Mr. Musk, confine your comments to what you know about the defendant's character." The damage had been done, however, doubt had been sown. Judge Judy narrowed her eyes at Richard Cole, who was sweating despite the cool air in the courtroom. "We'll take a 15-minute recess," she announced, her gavel echoing through the room. During the break, Judge Judy summoned both lawyers to her chambers. Elon Musk remained in the courtroom next to Sarah Martinez, who was quietly crying. "I can't believe you came," Sarah whispered. "I didn't even know you remembered me." "Of course I remember you," Elon replied. "I think about that night every single day. You changed my life." In the judge's chambers, tension filled the air. Judge Judy sat at her desk, fingers steepled. "Counselor," she began, "I've been in this job for 40 years, and I can spot a lie from a mile away. Your client reeks of it." "With all due respect." "No," Cole's attorney interjected. "You listen to me," Judge Judy retorted. "I've reviewed this case file multiple times. Your client claims Miss Martinez stole $50,000, but the evidence is circumstantial at best." She continued, "Now we have a credible witness attesting to her character." Sarah's lawyer, Maria Santos, a young public defender, interjected, "Your Honor, I've been trying to tell you there are discrepancies in Mr. Cole's financial records. If we could access his complete records, we've already submitted everything required by law." "Objection," Cole's lawyer protested. Judge Judy's eyes flared. "Required by law and complete transparency are 2 different matters. I'm inclined to order a full audit of Mr. Cole's company." "You can't do that," his attorney exclaimed. "This is a civil matter, not a criminal investigation." "Sit down," Judge Judy commanded. I can do whatever I deem necessary to get to the truth. Back in the courtroom, Elon was updating Sarah about the investigation he had secretly funded. My team found inconsistencies in Cole's financial records dating back 5 years. He's been siphoning money from his firm and needed a scapegoat. Why me? Sarah asked, her hands trembling. Because you were the perfect target, a single mother with no powerful connections and no funds for a good lawyer. He thought you'd be easy to frame. Sarah's hands shook. What happens to my kids if I go to jail? Miguel needs his medication. You're not going to jail, Elon assured her. I promise. When court reconvened, Judge Judy's demeanor had shifted. She was no longer just presiding. She was determined to seek the truth. Mr. Cole, she called out, I want you to take the stand. Cole's complexion paled. Your Honor, I'm the plaintiff. I don't have. You do if I say you do. Take the stand now. Hesitantly, Cole approached the witness stand, visibly trembling as he was sworn in. Mr. Cole, Judge Judy began. You've accused Miss Martinez of stealing $50,000 from your company. Can you tell me exactly when you discovered this alleged theft? About 6 months ago. I was reviewing the books and noticed discrepancies. Interesting, she replied. Because according to your financial records, the supposed theft occurred over 2 years, yet you claim to have only noticed it 6 months ago. Cole's lawyer sprang up. Objection. Your Honor is badgering the witness. Overruled. Answer the question, Mr. Cole. I don't review the books daily. I have people for that. Yet none noticed $50,000 missing over 2 years. Cole was sweating. It's a big company. Sometimes things slip through the cracks. Judge Judy leaned closer. Mr. Cole, how much did you lose in your divorce settlement last year? Objection. Relevance. I'll allow it. Answer the question, Mr. Cole. That's personal. Not anymore. How much? His voice was barely above a whisper. $200,000. And how much did you spend on your gambling debts? I don't have to answer that. You do in my courtroom. How much? The room was thick with tension as everyone watched Cole crumble. $150,000, he finally admitted. Judge Judy nodded. So you needed money. And Miss Martinez had access to the company accounts. That doesn't prove anything. No, but it suggests motive. Yours, not hers. Elon observed from the gallery, heart racing, as the truth began to surface, yet he sensed Cole's desperation. Desperate individuals can resort to dangerous actions. Cole's facade shattered. This is absurd. I'm the victim. That woman stole from me. Judge Judy's voice turned icy. I'm asking you one more time. Did you steal money from your own company and frame Miss Martinez? No, I would never. Then you won't mind if I order a complete forensic audit of your company's finances for the past 5 years? Cole's face drained from red to white. His attorney scribbled frantic notes, searching for an escape. Your Honor, the lawyer said, this has gone far beyond the original case. We're discussing a simple civil matter. Nothing simple about framing an innocent woman, Judge Judy countered. Mr. Cole, I'm awaiting your answer. The courtroom fell silent, tension palpable as Cole wrestled with his decision. Finally, with tears in his eyes, he confessed, I can't keep lying. Can't do what? Judge Judy pressed. She didn't steal anything. I did. Gasps filled the courtroom, and Sarah Martinez covered her mouth in disbelief. Elon felt a weight lift from his shoulders. I took the money, Cole continued, voice barely audible. I had debts, gambling debts. My ex-wife threatened to take me back to court for more alimony. I was desperate. Judge Judy remained stern. And you thought to frame Miss Martinez? I thought she wouldn't be able to fight back. She's just a cleaning lady, no connections, no money. I planted evidence in her locker to make it look like she was stealing. Sarah began to cry, not from sadness, but from relief. 3 years of fear and uncertainty were finally coming to an end. But then he showed up, Cole said, pointing at Elon with his investigators and money. I knew I was caught. Judge Judy turned to Elon. Mr. Musk, earlier you mentioned finding evidence. What kind of evidence? Elon stood. Your Honor, my investigators discovered that Mr. Cole made cash withdrawals from the company account that corresponded perfectly with his gambling activities. They also found security footage from the night he planted the evidence in Sarah's locker. You have security footage? Yes, Your Honor. The building's external cameras captured Mr. Cole entering the building at 11 p.m. on the night before Sarah was accused. He had no legitimate reason to be there. Cole's lawyer slumped in defeat. His client had just confessed to perjury, fraud, and framing an innocent person. There was no way back from this. Your Honor, Sarah's lawyer stated, we move for immediate dismissal of all charges against my client, and we plan to pursue criminal charges against Mr. Cole. Motion granted, Judge Judy said without hesitation. Mr. Cole, you are hereby ordered to pay. Judge Judy stood up abruptly and walked to the window, gazing out at the city below, her shoulders shaking. Your Honor, Sarah called out, are you okay? Judge Judy turned around, tears streaming down her face. I'm sorry, I'm not usually this emotional in front of people. There's nothing to apologize for, Elon said. This is emotional. It should be. It's just that I've spent so many years seeing the worst in people. Lies, greed, betrayal. I had started to believe that genuine goodness was rare, maybe even extinct. She took a seat again, her composure faltering. But listening to your story, seeing what you've done for each other, it's reminded me that there's still beauty in this world. There's still hope. Your Honor, Sarah said gently, you've spent 40 years fighting for justice. You've protected people who couldn't protect themselves. If that's not goodness, I don't know what is. But I've become so hard, so cynical, that I've forgotten what it feels like to be moved by simple human kindness. Then maybe today was meant to happen, Elon suggested. Maybe we all needed to be reminded of what's important. Judge Judy looked at both of them through her tears. You know what the most beautiful part of this story is? What? Sarah asked. You helped each other without expecting anything in return. Sarah, you saved Elon's life without knowing who he was or what he could do for you. And Elon, you spent 3 years helping Sarah without wanting recognition or gratitude. That's what people do for each other, Sarah said simply. No, dear, Judge Judy replied. That's what people should do for each other. There's a difference. Your Honor, Elon said. Can I tell you why I really came to testify today? Judge Judy nodded, still wiping tears from her eyes. It wasn't just because I believed in Sarah's innocence. It was because I realized that the kindness she showed me that night had rippled out into the world in ways I never expected. What do you mean? Judge Judy asked, intrigued. After Sarah saved my life, I started paying attention to the people around me differently. I began funding scholarships for kids who couldn't afford college. I started programs to help families with medical bills. I began looking for ways to lift people up instead of just focusing on my own success. Sarah looked at him in amazement. You did all that because of our conversation? I did all that because you showed me that one person's compassion can change everything. Every person I've helped since that night, every life that's been improved, that all traces back to you stopping on that bridge. Judge Judy leaned forward. Mr. Musk, how many people have you helped through these programs? Thousands, maybe tens of thousands. And they're helping others too. Sarah's kindness has spread to people she'll never meet in places she'll never go. I can't believe that, Sarah whispered. I just talked to you for a few hours. You changed my perspective on life, Elon replied. You showed me that everyone has a story, everyone has struggles, and everyone deserves compassion. That's not a small thing, Sarah. That's everything. Judge Judy stood up and walked to her desk. She picked up a picture of her own family and stared at it for a moment. I have grandchildren, she said quietly. They're about the same age as your kids, Sarah, and I've been so focused on my career, on being tough and uncompromising, that I've forgotten to show them the softer side of life. She turned back to them. Listening to your story today, I realized that I want my grandchildren to grow up in a world where people like you exist, where kindness isn't weakness, where helping others isn't false. They already live in that world, Sarah said. They just need to see it. You're right, and I need to do better at showing them. Elon looked at both women. You know what's amazing? We're all here because Sarah chose to stop that night. One decision, one moment of compassion, and look where it led. To justice being served, to truth being revealed, to 3 strangers becoming connected in a way that will last forever. It's not just about us, Judge Judy said. The people watching this trial, the media coverage, the story that will be told. It's going to inspire others to act with kindness. You think so? Sarah asked. I know, Judge Judy affirmed. Stories like this give people hope. They remind us that good things can happen, that there are still heroes in the world. I'm not a hero, Sarah protested. Yes, you are, both Elon and Judge Judy said simultaneously. You saved a life, Judge Judy continued. You stood up to false accusations with dignity. You raised 3 children while working multiple jobs. You never gave up. Never stopped fighting for what was right. If that's not heroic, I don't know what is. Elon nodded. And you did it all without recognition, without praise, without expecting anything in return. That's the purest form of heroism. Sarah looked at both of them, overwhelmed by their words. I just did what I thought was right. Exactly, Judge Judy said. That's what makes you a hero. Heroes don't help people for recognition or reward. They help because it's the right thing to do. And now, Elon added, your story is going to inspire countless others to do the same. Judge Judy walked back to her seat. I want to tell you both something. Today changed me, not just as a judge, but as a person. I'm going to go home tonight and call my grandchildren. I'm going to tell them about this case, about what real kindness looks like. And I'm going to continue the programs I started. Because of Sarah, Elon said. But now I'm going to expand them. I want to create a foundation in Sarah's name dedicated to helping people who are struggling but still find ways to help others. You don't need to do that, Sarah said. I want to, Elon replied. The world needs more people like you, Sarah. And if we can support and encourage that kind of compassion, we should. Judge Judy smiled through her tears. Count me in. When I retire, I want to be part of this foundation. I want to spend my remaining years building people up instead of just tearing down the lies they tell. As the 3 of them sat in the courthouse hallway, the weight of the day's events began to settle in. The media outside was growing louder, eager to hear about the dramatic reversal in the case. But inside, a more important conversation was taking place. Sarah, Elon said, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Of course. That night on the bridge, when you saw me standing there, what was your first thought? Sarah considered the question carefully. I thought about my kids. I thought about how I would feel if one of them were in that situation, and I hoped someone would stop to help them. You thought about your children? Elon asked, surprised. I always think about my children. Everything I do, every decision I make, it's for them. When I saw you there, I saw someone's child, someone who was loved by someone somewhere. Judge Judy felt fresh tears coming. Even in that moment, you were thinking about others. I was thinking about what kind of world I wanted my kids to grow up in, and I decided it should be a world where people help each other. Elon shook his head in amazement. You were struggling to pay your bills, working 3 jobs, dealing with your son's medical issues, and you still stopped to help a stranger because you wanted to make the world better for your children. Isn't that what parents do? No, Sarah, that's what extraordinary parents do. Judge Judy leaned forward. Sarah, I want to make you a promise. This foundation that Mr. Musk is creating in your name, I'm going to make sure it reaches every community in this country. I'm going to use my platform, my connections, everything I have, to spread your message of compassion. What message? Sarah asked. That kindness matters. That one person can make a difference. That helping others isn't just the right thing to do. It's the only thing to do. Elon nodded. And I promise that your children will never have to worry about money. Again, Miguel's medical care, Elena and Carlos's education, your mortgage, everything is taken care of forever. You don't have to do that, Sarah insisted. Yes, I do. Because 3 years ago, you gave me my life back. And now I want to give you yours. Sarah began crying again, but this time, her tears were of joy mixed with overwhelming gratitude. I don't know what to say. Say you'll let us help you, Judge Judy said. Say you'll work with us to create something beautiful from this horrible experience you've endured. Say you'll let your story inspire others, Elon added. Because that's what heroes do. They light the way for others to follow. Sarah looked at both of them. These 2 powerful people who had entered her life in the most unexpected way. I'll do whatever you think is best, but I have one condition. What's that? Judge Judy asked. I want to be involved in everything. I don't want to just be the name on a foundation. I want to work with the people we're helping. I want to be there, talking to them, listening to them, showing them that someone cares. Of course, Elon replied. That's exactly what we want. And I want my children to be part of it too when they're old enough. I want them to understand that we were blessed with this opportunity, not just for ourselves, but to help others. Judge Judy smiled. You're going to raise amazing adults. I hope so. I want them to grow up knowing that kindness is never wasted. That helping others is the most important thing you can do in life. They'll know, Elon assured her, because they have you as their mother. As they prepared to leave the courthouse, Judge Judy stood up and faced them both. I need to tell you something. Today was supposed to be just another case for me. Another day of sorting through people's problems and making decisions. But it became so much more than that. How so? Sarah asked. It became a reminder of why I chose this profession in the first place, to protect people, to seek truth, to ensure that justice prevails. I had lost sight of that purpose, but you both brought it right back to me. She paused, her voice thick with emotion. When I retire, I want people to remember me not just as a tough judge, but as someone who fought for people like Sarah. Someone who recognized goodness when she saw it and did everything in her power to protect it. They will, Elon assured her. And when people tell your story, I want them to remember that true wealth isn't measured in money or possessions. It's measured in the lives you touch and the positive changes you create in the world. That's what Sarah taught me. Judge Judy turned to Sarah. And you, dear one, you need to understand that what you did that night wasn't small or insignificant. You saved a life, yes, but you did so much more than that. You reminded someone of their worth, their purpose, their reason to keep going. That's a gift beyond measure. Sarah nodded, finally beginning to grasp the magnitude of what had happened. I think I'm starting to see that. Good, Judge Judy said, because the world needs more people like you. And now, thanks to this foundation, there will be. As they walked toward the courthouse doors, ready to face the media and share their story with the world, Sarah felt something she hadn't experienced in years. Hope. Not just for her own future, but for the future of everyone who would be touched by their story. You know what the best part of all this is? She asked. What? Elon and Judge Judy inquired together. My kids are going to grow up in a world where they know that kindness wins, where they understand that helping others isn't just good for the people you help. It's good for you too. It connects us all in ways we never expected. Judge Judy wiped away one final tear. Sarah Martinez, you have given me the greatest gift anyone could give a judge. What's that? You've restored my faith in humanity. And that's something I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. As they stepped into the bright sunlight outside the courthouse, ready to share their story with the world, they knew that this was just the beginning. The seeds of compassion that Sarah had planted on that bridge 3 years ago were about to bloom into something beautiful, something that would touch lives for generations to come. The tears Judge Judy had shed that day weren't just tears of emotion. They were tears of hope, renewal, and joy for a future where kindness would triumph over cruelty, where compassion would overcome indifference, and where one person's simple act of caring could change the course of many lives. They stepped outside. The bright sunlight illuminated the faces of those gathered, eager to hear the unfolding story. Cameras flashed, and reporters shouted questions. But in that moment, all that mattered to Sarah, Elon, and Judge Judy was the bond they had formed through an extraordinary journey. Elon turned to Sarah. Are you ready? He asked, his voice steady, yet filled with anticipation. Sarah nodded, her heart racing. I think so. I want to share our story, to show people that compassion matters. As they approached the media throng, Judge Judy took a deep breath. She was used to the spotlight, but this moment felt different. She felt a sense of purpose that transcended the courtroom. Ladies and gentlemen, she began, her voice confident and clear. Today is not just about a case. It's about a testament to humanity. It's a reminder that one act of kindness can ripple through lives in ways we can't even begin to imagine. She gestured toward Sarah. This is Sarah Martinez, a woman who showed extraordinary courage and compassion. Despite facing false accusations and overwhelming odds, she stood firm, a beacon of hope for her children and her community. Turning to the cameras, she continued, and this is Elon Musk, a man who recognized that the kindness shown to him could not only be repaid but multiplied. His actions have inspired many to believe in the power of compassion. The crowd erupted in applause, and Sarah felt a warmth spreading through her chest. She stepped forward, the microphone in her hand, her voice trembling with emotion. I just want to say that no matter how difficult things may seem, there's always hope. I never imagined that stopping to help someone that night would lead to this moment. She glanced at Elon, who smiled encouragingly. I thought I was alone in my struggles, but I learned that every act of kindness creates a chain reaction. We can lift each other up, and together, we can change the narrative. Asterisk, a reporter shouted. What's next for you and your children? Asterisk, with newfound confidence, Sarah replied. I'm going to continue fighting for those who can't fight for themselves. I want to inspire others to find strength in kindness, just as I did. Asterisk, Elon added. We plan to establish a foundation, in Sarah's name, dedicated to helping those in need and encouraging acts of compassion. Together, we can create a network of support that spans across communities. Asterisk, as the crowd listened intently, Judge Judy interjected, and I will ensure this foundation reaches every corner of the country. I may be a judge, but I'm also a believer in the transformative power of kindness. Asterisk, the media buzzed with excitement, and Sarah felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. She was no longer just a woman accused of a crime. She was a voice for the voiceless, a symbol of resilience. Asterisk, after the press conference, as they walked away from the crowd, Elon said, You were incredible out there, Sarah. You have a gift for inspiring others. Asterisk, thank you, she replied, humbled. But I couldn't have done it without you both. You believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. Asterisk, Judge Judy smiled warmly. And that's what makes all the difference. We all need someone to believe in us. We need to be that someone for others. Asterisk, as they walked away from the courthouse, the sun setting behind them, they felt a sense of unity and purpose. The journey they had embarked upon was not just about one case. It was about a movement toward compassion, understanding, and hope. Asterisk, Sarah looked at her new friends. I can't wait to see what we can accomplish together. Let's change lives. Asterisk, Elon nodded. And let's show the world that kindness is the most powerful force we have. Asterisk, Judge Judy added. Together, we will create a legacy that will inspire generations to come. Asterisk, with that, they stepped into the future, united by their shared commitment to kindness and the belief that they could indeed change the world, one act of compassion at a time.